Next up, we have Christi Ketchum. She is a member of the executive leadership team of Project South, the Institute for the Elimination of Poverty and Genocide.
Good morning and greetings, everybody. As I think about the moment we're in, I have to start from the rising tide of engagement and organizing expressed in the post-Katrina Gulf South in 2005, the mass marches supporting migrant and immigrant rights in 2006, the incredible mobilization of the U.S. Social Forum in 2007, and the election energy in the fall of 2008. We see broad and deep engagement from young people, surge in desire from multiple communities for involvement in action, increased political and analytical connection across movement sectors, and just the beginning of coordinated practices. Strong intergenerational leadership in the South, with many of our formations transitioning and sharing leadership across generational lines. Indeed, this is an exciting time as I'm able to compare and apply lessons learned from past historical movements. However, we cannot forget as we listen to the news and friends, as we listen to the impact and the deep impact of the economic crisis has had on all of our lives, communities here and also across the global landscape. As the economy worsens, the effect of mass layoffs, thousands of foreclosures, and the steady corporatization of basic needs drive conditions to new levels of trauma and desperation. Communities experienced an increased level of social violence, including the policing of public spaces, the increased authorities to harass, detain, and deport immigrants, street and inter-community violence, rises in domestic and intimate violence, and consistent militarization of our public schools, and also now the closing of our public schools. Simultaneously, the mechanics of the economic system, both public and private interests, will steer in the direction of building up and strengthening the social control industries. Prisons, policing, immigrant detentions, displacement, reproductive control, like we saw with the Stupak Amendment, and criminalization of public spaces. These social control industries target people with fewer opportunities, which include younger people, people of color, women of color, migrant and immigrants, the LGBTQ community, people with disabilities, and people caught up in the criminal legal system. As great as it was to see Barack Obama become the 44th president of the United States, we must keep this moment in context. We have to separate the man from the job as we confront our contradictory governmental policies. Our movement has an opportunity and responsibility to shift from reactive organizing, from direct attacks, to transformative and proactive positions to build grassroots movements to engage, plan, and practice our visions. Linking single issues and working collaboratively, which is, this CLIP conference is definitely a representation of collaborative work and collective work. And listening and strengthening our work will make us stronger. We can't be confused or fragmented from each other. We have the tools, practices, and processes we need to win. And now we gotta just use them. I've had the great opportunity to participate with the planning of the United States Social Forum in 2007. Who went to the US Social Forum in 2007? Okay, cool. As we were the anchor organization and fiscal sponsor of a global gathering to bring activists from all over the nation and world to Atlanta to build relationships, coordinate actions, learn from each other, share tactics and skills, develop leaders, create networks, and come together as a united front. It was phenomenal to see a 3-year process for us organizationally come to fruition. However, that effort came with internal and external discourse, struggle, challenges, transition, and stretching ourselves in amazing ways, which is good. It's what we have to do in order to build and strengthen this movement. The social forum process, if taken seriously and invested in all levels, provides a productive space for leadership to stay connected and relevant to popular movements. The forum provides a space to discover and amplify our collective demands. Each social forum should be seen as a benchmark to examine how far we've come and reassess our directions to align, collaborate, and coordinate. We can learn what's happening to inform the political edges and support the skills and provide the flexible, accessible infrastructure that people need to move. In this moment, facilitating mass convergences like this one and organizing specific local efforts from within those convergences is a critical method to address issues that can no longer be resolved in an isolation or through minor policy changes. The convergence strategy, if held with enough principle and integrity, will spark stronger movements in local communities across regions and through national platforms. No political party or singular alliance is prepared to truly act on our behalf. As we gear up for the next U.S. Social Forum 2010, and it's June 22nd through the 26th, 2010, in Detroit, Michigan, and I'm really excited about it being in Detroit because Detroit has been going through a lot of the things that we're just now like seeing and feeling in our communities. They've been going through this for the last 40 years. And they have resilient, amazing leaders that are intergenerational, that are young, that are older, and they have fire. And I just would like to be like them when I when I grow up. And they've been systematically dismantled so on so many levels. But they're strong and they're resilient. They have pride and vigor, and they're going to share our story and share with us how we can learn from them. We are determined to show to our people and the world that the U.S. Social Forum in 2007 did not just mark a moment in time, it marked a forward step for wider, broader, more expansive, more effective movements for real transformation of our lives in the generations to come. The time is now for fighters of justice and human rights to build on the long history and move forward as we stand on the backs of great sheroes and heroes known and unknown. The work is hard, long, with little recognition and accolades, but the reason is strong as we continue the fight of indigenous people, enslaved Africans, and immigrants. Our strength lies not in knowing exactly how to move forward, but in our commitment to do so.